Hey guys, so I come to you with an announcement, a read-along announcement of DuneTube 2019. So I sent Steve Donahue a Voxer message earlier this week about an idea for a read-along of all of the novels in Frank Herbert's Dune saga. Of course, Dune, the first novel in the saga, is one of the greatest science fiction novels of all time. But a lot of people read Dune and then don't really read the rest of the series. So I thought that this would be a fun idea, and Steve is a huge fan of the Dune saga, as am I, although I've only read the first 3 books in the saga. But Steve responded to my message saying that he thought that that was an awesome idea and we should try to get some other booktubers on board. And so he and I went and asked around, and we managed to reel in Mark of Richardson Reads and Elena Macredina, so they are going to be acting as hosts as well for this read-along. Yeah, so basically this is going to be a monthly read-along of all 6 of the novels in Frank Herbert's Dune saga. We're going to be doing 1 novel per month, and we're going to be starting next month. So the way it's going to work is sort of like ShakeTube, very casual, where we just read the book and then post sort of a discussion video or a reaction video with some thoughts on the book. So all 4 of us are going to be posting videos. We would invite anyone who is interested to read along and post videos as well. But if you don't have a channel or you don't feel like making videos, you can also just read along and you know, talk about it in wrap-ups or comment or whatever. So we're gonna be making videos. The 4 of us, at least, are gonna be making videos on the 20th of each month, starting next month in July. So that's basically all. And so just to do a little roundup of the schedule. So in July, on July 20th, we'll be posting about the first novel in the series, Dune, which if you're not going to join us for the rest of the read-along, you might as well join us for Dune, because again, it is one of the greatest science fiction novels ever. I haven't read that much science fiction, but many people have said that it is the greatest science fiction novel of all time, and you know, if I were a science fiction writer, I would want to write a novel like Dune. Yeah, July 20th we'll be posting on Dune. August 20th we'll be posting about Dune Messiah, the 2nd book, and also the skinniest book. In September we'll be posting about Children of Dune, 3rd book. In October, we will be posting about God Emperor of Dune. In November, we will be posting about Heretics of Dune. And finally, in December, we will be posting about Chapterhouse Dune. And do not let the comments of some Dune fans get to you about the latter books in the series. A lot of Dune fans say that Dune Messiah sucks, and Children of Dune, the 3rd book, is just okay, and then the rest of them are all terrible. I disagree, at least with the verdict on Children of Dune. I think Children of Dune is excellent. I have read the first 3 books in the series all twice. Dune Messiah is definitely the weakest, but it is still has some important ideas in terms of the themes of the overall series, and is still obviously a bridge from Dune to Children of Dune. And the last 3 books in the series I've heard a lot of really good things about. Yeah, don't let comments of certain fans of the series, or of the first book, that is, get to you. So yeah, please, if you're so inclined, do join us for this read-along. Again, if you're not going to join us for the rest of it, just join us for Dune, because, again, it is a great novel, but obviously I would also encourage everyone to join in for the rest of them. They are not short books, but they're not terribly long, and they are very... they're very gripping, I think, and I also wanted to make some video recommendations, some videos that are on YouTube that are relevant to the Dune saga, and the first 2 are interviews with Frank Herbert himself. So the first interview I'm going to recommend is between Frank Herbert and a professor of literature, who did this epic interview with him in his own home, and asks him all sorts of really meaty questions about the Dune saga and the writing of Dune and the themes of Dune, and it's a great interview. I've listened to it several times because it's one of those great interviews that stands up to re-listening. It's just really insightful. It really shows you how brilliant of a man Frank Herbert was, in addition to being a great writer. And the second one is another interview that's done with both Frank Herbert and David Lynch, who directed the film version of Dune from the 80s, which I do not like, and which a lot of people don't like. But the interview, again, is very insightful, a lot of meaty questions that the interviewer asks Frank Herbert. And David Lynch leaves the interview after like the first quarter or so most of it is just Frank Herbert. So if you're not into David Lynch, you're not gonna have to listen to him for that long. So I would highly recommend that. And then lastly, I wanted to recommend a couple of videos from one particular channel, and also just recommend the channel to you all. So the channel is called Ideas of Ice and Fire. So as you might tell from the name of the channel, it's actually primarily about the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin, but he has also done a bunch of videos about the Dune saga and the Dune universe. And he has a series of 7 videos called The Ultimate Guide to Dune, where he just goes through, the first video in the series is just a general overview of the entire series and sort of the broad, you know, macroscopic look at the timeline of the series. So there will be some spoilers in it if that's a concern, but it's not really a series where spoilers matter all that much, which, yeah, is hard to explain, but really, spoilers don't really matter that much in the Dune saga. But yeah, he just does a lot to explain what's going on and who's scheming what and such. So if you're ever confused about what's going on in one of the Dune novels, that Ultimate Guide to Dune can really help. And before you read the series, watching the first video might help, because again, it's just that broad overview. And then he has another video called The Philosophy of Dune, where he talks about a lot of the major themes of the Dune saga, how it explores, you know, politics and religion and messiahs, and how human beings can become fanatical in their allegiance to messiahs and can do terrible things in the name of their messiahs and such. And he discusses a lot of those themes. And this guy the guy who makes the channel is a really passionate fan of this saga and has, you know, an encyclopedic knowledge of it. And also, if you're a fan of the Song of Ice and Fire series, he's great on that series as well, but obviously that's not in the purview of this read-along. So I just wanted to make those recommendations if you are going to join us, or if you've already read it and want to go watch them. But yeah, anyway, I know that my co-hosts are going to be making their own videos. I will leave links to all of their channels so that you can check those videos out. And I hope that as many of you as are interested will join us, and I am super excited because it's just going to be fun to read all these books in sequence, I think, and make videos about each one. So yeah, anyway, I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys.